best. And the heat is I have a wood-fired sauna, which I use every day, and it's the great, it's one.
How do you make sure it's the right temperature? Is it like an offset smoker? Like you have to kind of fiddle with it for a while?
Amazing.
To get the right temperature?
It's time consuming.
Yeah.
No, I have a Finnish, the Finns are geniuses, but I have a Finnish stove in it, and it's incredibly precise. I don't know if you ever use a wood stove, but there's a carburetor on it, basically, that lets in air.
Like an offset smoker.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so precise. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you move it, a third of an inch, and it's just like the flame changes. So I use birch, which I love. And the whole process takes a while. I get it to 200, which probably takes an hour and 20. I mean, it's a thing.
You like it hot?
Like it hot, yeah.
200?
Yeah, well, I do it I wear a sauna hat, so.
Oh, okay. Does that help?
Which is embarrassing.
The wool hat?
Yeah, well, it's felt.
Yeah, I bought one of those. I never wore it.
It's incredible.
Yeah? What's the difference?
Well, I'll tell you. Don't get, I'm so boring on this subject.
No,
I get going on this, like,
please.
My wife and kids are like,
You see I have one, you're speaking to the choir.
They're the best. Go Scandinavia.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing, if your name is Carlson, it's the one thing to be proud of in your people. Like, they're so sad and defeated and pathetic, but saunas are still great. But anyway, the sauna hat, so your head heats up much faster because it's higher, but also because it's got all the capillaries in your head, all the blood vessels in your head. So the point of a sauna is to bake.
Right.
So you want to stay hot as long as you can. Then you reap the benefits, and you also get the solitude and the prayer time or the meditation or whatever in your cedar church. But you can't stay in a sauna that's really hot very long because your head heats up.
Right.
So the sauna hat, the felt hat, the banya hat as they call it, insulates your head so you can really stay hot a long, long time. It makes you really should do it.
So is it just because it makes it more comfortable? Is that the idea?
If your head overheats, just overheats. And what you want is you want to cook evenly, just like on a barbecue. You really do. And so, you sit on the bench with your feet up. You want to be as flat as you possibly can to cook evenly and to stay that way. So I try to do 20 minutes. I have my, my timer, my egg timer with the sand going through the hourglass, which goes to 15 minutes, but I try to stay an extra 5 if I can. And I couldn't without the banya hat.
Interesting.
It's like $8 on Amazon. Well worth it.
Yeah, I have one. Like I said, I just don't use it. But I do.
They're embarrassing, and you look like a tool wearing it. But you shouldn't have.
But no one's looking in there anyway.
Well, that's right. You don't sauna with other people.
Right. Well, I do sometimes. Yeah, comics. We get in here.
Really?
Yeah. When we train together, we all get in the sauna together afterwards. It's fun. The Rock was in there with us.
No way.
Yeah, The Rock worked out with us and then sat in the sauna with us. It was fun. Got in the cold plunge with us.
Oh, that's pretty great.
It was fun.
Is he a good dude?
He's a great guy. Really nice guy. Like, really.
I've heard that. I don't know him, but I've heard that he's a good guy.
Some people fake humble. They fake it to look cool.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, he's not doing that. He's a real guy. Like,
the measure of humility is really, really simple. Can you tell the truth about yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, are you cool to be around? Like, he gives real hugs. He's a real guy.
I love
He's
that.
real. He's a real guy. And when we hung out with him, I hung out with him for hours. I mean, we worked out for like 2 hours, and then we got in the sauna together. We all hung out, and then we did a podcast together. He's a genuinely nice guy. Like, you'd be able to sniff something out.
Well, you can tell, like,
immediately. You tell something.
People are hiding stuff.
Yeah. But so yeah, I've done the sauna with other people.
Well, I do it by myself, so no one sees my sauna.
I do it at 196 degrees. I do it for 25 minutes, and usually I don't.
That's intense. 196 for 25 minutes is a lot.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes are rough, and I used to only do 20, but lately I've been doing 25.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's more uncomfortable. The whole idea is just to make it more uncomfortable. I want it to be very hard to do so that the rest of my day is pretty easy. So a really hard workout. Cold plunge starts the day. That's the first thing I do is hard. It's 3 minutes at 33 degrees. It sucks. Oh. And then I get out of there and then I work out. So
that's really impressive. I mean, I had the opposite training as a young man, which was the goal was like French toast. You know what I mean?
French toast.
Grind out the cigarettes in the syrup when you're
right.
done. Yeah.
Well, I started doing martial arts when I was a young man, and when I got into it, it was the first thing that I had ever did that, first of all, gave me a real understanding of the value of discipline and hard work.
Yeah.
Because you can get as good as the amount of effort that you put forth, and if you put more effort and you're more intense and you're more driven than other people, you beat them, and you start beating everyone, and you start becoming this thing that you never thought you could be, which is someone who's extraordinary at something that's very dangerous. And so that was my formulation as a man. Like that helped me go from being this like confused kid to being someone who understands like, oh, there's a path, and most people don't want to do it, but if you could do it, if you can do this dangerous thing that people are terrified of and just do it ruthlessly all day long, like live it. I lived at the gym. I mean, I taught all day long. I trained all day long. My whole life was dedicated to martial arts. So I got really good really quick. And it changed the whole trajectory of my life. And it instilled in me this understanding of the value of dedication and of a singular commitment to something. To really being, while you're doing it, you're not distracted, you're fully focused on improving. And through that, you could apply that to all aspects of your life. But we all encounter difficult things in life. And there's this saying that I love. It's a really great saying that the hardest thing that's ever happened to you is the hardest thing that's ever happened to you. If it's a parking ticket or if it's your parents being blown up by a drone, it's still the hardest thing that's ever happened to you. If you've had an incredibly easy life, like most people today, they complain about the dumbest fucking shit because to them, that is their primary focus. They don't have a real existential threat.